this weekend saw the release of Marvel's Eternals. And before I get into any details, I need to just say that I do recommend this movie. I think I'm probably going to come across sounding not very pro Eternals, but I did enjoy it. But in no way is it the strongest of the MCU. In fact, it's the easiest MCU movie for me to look at and say I can understand why there are people who might not like this very much. And the biggest thing that I think is going to be a problem for the people when it comes to this movie is that it is weird. And this is in no way a bad thing, at least not for me. I enjoy weird, odd movies. The plot of this movie has a lot of real heavy sci-fi stuff going on, which, I mean, probably goes back to the Jack Kirby influences of the comic books that it is based on. It feels like it's overcomplicated and does a lot of explaining in ways where it doesn't, I think, maybe have to do it as much as it does. The most disheartening thing about this movie, and this is not a spoiler, is that literally the beginning of the movie is a text crawl. You read white text on a black screen, and it just kind of brought me down. I was ready for the movie to start. These Marvel movies usually start in a way where, things just get rolling. And though I do think the movie does pick up steam in the second half, it is pretty slow when it comes to just revealing what's going on. If you've seen trailers, you know things that are going to happen, and you're okay, let's get there. Let's get to some of the new information. Not to say this movie doesn't have surprises, because it did actually surprise me in a couple different spots, but it does take a long time getting there. And this movie is 2.5 hours long, and unlike No Time to Die, it does feel that long. This movie is not very connected to the rest of the MCU, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is kind of confusing with some of the ways that it's been marketed. A lot of the performances out of our main actors in this movie are also pretty wooden and a little alien and robotic feeling, which, because of the nature of the Eternals, I guess might be a choice. So I don't know if that's really a fair thing to say it's as a bad thing, but it does feel that even some of the characters who aren't the Eternals feel, I don't know, they're delivering this dialogue and everything in ways that is very stilted. Though not to say that that really kind of carries through the whole movie. It's more scenes that different people have that at certain points just does not feel very natural. When it comes to characters that I did enjoy, and I don't really have anything negative to say, Don Lee as Gilgamesh is my favorite out of the 10 Eternals. And then a real surprise with Harish Patel as Karen is probably my favorite performance in the entire movie. Another thing that I really did enjoy about this movie is its use of scale. There are characters in this movie that are ginormous. The Celestials, who are the bosses of the Eternals, are huge, and getting to see that and actually feel that they are actually as big as they are in some shots, especially when they're being compared to people who are human sized in some of those shots, is really kind of striking, especially seeing it on an IMAX screen. Like I said before, I don't want people to come away from hearing this review thinking that I did not like it. I would give this a recommend, especially if you are into the MCU. I'm sure it's going to end up being important down the line. But if it weren't for some of the striking visuals, I don't know if it's one you would necessarily need to make sure to run out and see in the theaters. So that's what I thought about Marvel's Eternals. If you've seen the movie, hey, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you give this video a like or subscribe to our channel, that'd be awesome. It helps us reach our goal of 250 by the end of the year. Appreciate you being here. Take care, and we'll see you next time.